Greetings and salutations, everybody. It's Red Lion ESV. Once again, welcome to the Lion Share Podcast. Whole bunch of stuff going on in these YouTube streets, man. I'm gonna speed through a couple of these pieces, man. Most recently, we're talking about, passport bros versus, the game, the game coaches, dating coaches, yada yada yada. I mean, me personally, the way I really view it, honestly, I like Warren B. You know what I mean? When he put it out there that the best game really is no game, from a capital P, P-I, M, capital P on the end. You get what I'm saying? I really like their philosophy. The best game truly is no game. Because when it's all said and done, if she really digs you, it's not really a whole lot you're going to say to, somebody like that really, really wants to deal with you. You really can't chase them off. They like you. They want to deal with you in a certain capacity. I mean, it's funny. Truth be told, it's funny. You're like, yo, I'm gonna conquer the world. You know what I mean? And the correct, the correct person for you will literally be like, okay, well, we gonna be back by dinner. Should I make, some sandwiches? Like, you want me to get the big duffel bag or the small duffel bag? Cause I know how you roll. You know what I mean? But that's, pretty much if you got it like that. But essentially, truth be told, what a lot of this passport stuff really boils down to, honestly, it's been touched on numerous times by numerous people. Edward Anderson, shout out to him, Hurricane Edward, Grinch, that's the homie. Well, I mean, I don't know, homie personally, but you get the idea, man. I mess with his content heavy. But at the end of the day, somebody has to subsidize this stuff. Basically, somebody has to hold down the fort if all these passport people leave. Because all the passport thing really does is a bunch of men, essentially, taking women's words and flipping it on their head. Like, know your worth, king, fix your crown, king, yada, yada, yada. If that's the way the way you talk or the way you, articulate yourself. But essentially, that's what it is you knowing your worth and being as though, the majority of us, have dealt with sisters, dealt with black women in some capacity or another. We know you. We know you and we know the prices. And the second you get your passport or the second you, quote unquote, jump the fence, you realize, yo, I've been selling myself short, B. Yo, I've really been selling myself short. Yo, I can do leaps and bounds better. And then, depending on your philosophy, obviously, fornication is a sin in Islam and all that. Well, just about all the Abrahamic religions, technically, you know what I mean? But if you're running around and, you done got yours off already, now you can buckle down and focus. Like, okay, cool. Now that I got that post-nut clarity, now I can focus on the important stuff. And if you take it a step back, even before you, quote unquote, screw a hole through through the atmosphere, before you even take that step, truth be told, you have the opportunity to look at your finances before you even go. Like, damn, like, I'm really feeling this one. I'm feeling that one. I'm feeling the climate. I'm feeling, the culture. Or, I mean, truth be told, the women is just the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? That's really the honey pot. That's really the bait that'll get you over there. But ultimately, once you have an opportunity to, focus, you're like, damn, I really got to get my bread together. I got to get my life together. I got to get my health together. I got to get my passport, yada, yada, yada. Like, all of these things kind of line themselves up to where it's not really just about travel and getting the passport. It's all these things coming into alignment, and then you're able to maximize, you're able to maximize your true potential. At least that's the way I view it. But when you reel everything back in, all these things tie into each other: your health, your finances, your budgeting, you're moving around, you're absorbing different cultures, you're seeing different things, you're understanding your worth and your value, you're realizing, hey, I don't need to, I mean, of course you want to go get your money. Absolutely go get your money, get as much as you can, whatever your God-given talent is going to allow you to do. But, ultimately, you can see your money stretch. You can see that, okay, well, boom. If the cost of living over here is only a few $1,000s, then, yo, I can do that. I truly can go out and, trailblaze, so to speak. I can't make a path for myself. I can do this. And maybe for the first time in a very, very, very long time, a black man is able to say, yo, I really can do this. I really can blaze a trail. I really can, you know, make a better life for myself, you know? But that's where a lot of this, a lot of this clashing stuff, man, or they some, some pervs or they this and, whatever. All of that is sour grapes. All of that is sour grapes. Because truth be told, I mean, if we bring everything, we bring everything back to what I just said, the best game is no game. Truth be told, like, you're not supposed to be combative with the opposite sex. You're not supposed to be fighting with somebody. And I'm learning that, as I'm doing my own experimentation. Where I'm like, I really have to look in the mirror, check myself. Like, why am I looking for a fight where there isn't one? You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. Women all across the board, they're similar. Let's call it what it is. I won't say they're the same. I'll definitely say they're similar, but I find myself, I'm like, yo, am I looking for a problem? Am I looking for a fight with this person? You're dealing with people who, we hate the word submissive and all that, but you're dealing with people who are more demure. They're not trying to shout you down. They're not trying to overtalk you. They're actually smiling. Like maybe it's a New York thing because it's so aggressive towards each other and we're so competitive with each other. But you're dealing with somebody who actually smiles and you're like, yo, I mean, you looking funny, like, yo, Shorty smiling at me. Like, I know Shorty up to no good. And sometimes I got to catch myself like, no, idiot. Like, some people really are genuinely just happy people, not toxic positivity or that goofy stuff that goofy fake manifest, whatever. Like, some people are genuinely just pleasant human beings. Like, I really got to look in the mirror, like, word, you gonna beat somebody up because they're pleasant? Like, okay, now you're being a weirdo. And I have to check myself. But it is what it is. Everything comes full circle and you're starting to understand that you don't need a playbook or a rule book to deal with, the opposite sex. It's not really that difficult. Or at least it shouldn't be that difficult, should I say. There's no reason for that. There's no reason you gotta read this and you know, because that's what starts to happen with some of this, some of this red pill stuff is once you get some of the information, you can't stay. Essentially, you can't stay. You cannot stay angry forever. You have to accept what is and you have to move forward. And then when you start to talk about, well, I see, shout out to, Keep It 100, Marcus and all that, roasted Lucario, he played himself. Like, don't get it twisted. I know, we start talking about alternative lifestyles and, moving around and stuff, but majority of people in this space are conservative. They're not trying to share their women. You're bugging. You are bugging. Nobody's trying to share their woman with nobody, let alone, she's getting plowed by the next man and then she's coming home to you. And because you get the play, then, that's a good look. Like the average dude is not on that type of time. If we talking about the average dude can't get access to a woman, like he for damn sure is not gonna finally get access and then share her with somebody else. You're bugging. That's not happening. But truthfully, what all this stuff is you're watching everything, basically fall apart so it can come back together the way it's supposed to be. Because if you stick around long enough, you really see what this is. In the words of the late great Grinch, America's always going to be need a nigga. Your job is not to be that nigga. Somebody has to carry these heavy loads. Somebody has to carry these burdens. Somebody has to take care of, some of these out of wedlock children and be a stepdad. Somebody has to, subsidize the dude that, quote unquote gets the pussy for free. Somebody has to subsidize that. And when you have men that are going, I mean, I be top tier, but I quote unquote know my worth. Somebody's going to have to pick up the tab for that. All that key, I took a doggy bag home to the dude I really want to sleep with. Now that nobody's taking, not nobody, but a lot of people are not going out on food dates and we not going out and we not buying drinks. Somebody has to pick up the tab for that. Somebody has to pick up the slack and be the cleanup man. But these quote unquote cleanup men are leaving. They're like, yo, I'm out. I'm gonna take my chances elsewhere. Oh, they're gonna rob you in this country and that country. Oh, they only want you for a green card. They only want you for your money. Don't matter. At the end of the day, people are like, you know what? I'll take my chances. Good, bad, ugly. I'm gonna take my chances. And I'm gonna end up doing a follow-up video, basically saying, well done. The people in this space did their job. Now it's on to the next frontier. Now, whether or not legislation could be passed or we can, truly, make some real changes, that remains to be seen. But the groundwork has already been laid. RIP Kevin Samuels. He ain't the man we wanted, but that's what we got. That was the face. He put the information out there. And now, things are doing what they do. But yeah, it's goofy. And more, these people that's trying to give you game and you got to do this and you got to talk to this one and don't text so fast. And it's not really that complicated, bro. It's really not that complicated. And the fact that it became that complicated, it's like, yeah, count me out. Not me, but just the men in general. They're like, yeah, count me out. I'm good. But pretty much that's where I'm at with it, man. That's where I'm at with it. We at the Noah's Ark stage. Grab what you can, get your resources, get your education together, get your finances in order. Do your push-ups and sit-ups. That's me talking out loud to myself, man. Get your weight up or weight down, whichever you choose. And it's time to make moves. Because obvious, stateside, this ain't it. And that's for the ladies, and that's for anybody else that got a little bit of sense and a little bit of money. This ain't it. But these people made a bet for themselves. They thought it was gonna be sweet forever. But I'm gonna cut this short, man. Red Lion ESV, Lion Share Podcast. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, peace and love. Y'all be safe out here.